Hey, welcome back to Morning Joe. And
I just want to see if their teeth glint in real life. Oh, yes, they do. Oh, my gosh.
Right, so here's the deal. Here's how seriously I've been around this town for a few years. The way I figure out who the professionals are, the guys that are going to make it, are the ones that sort of take a punch, roll off, and then come back and pat you on the back. And these guys they've been very gracious.
They have.
To come
Adorable.
back. Now, but a confession here, Paul Ryan, and I've made no secret of my man love for you, Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan, have I not? Have I? It's been gross. I've slobbered all over your legislative.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah, you should be. But you said that's the first time you actually saw your teeth glistening on that. Is that really the first time you saw the video?
It actually is. It just goes to prove that we are better at writing books than we are at making videos.
Okay, well, and so talk about the book.
Wait a minute, Joe. I want to talk about the video. I thought you loved it.
Okay, so let's talk about the video. I don't understand something. Okay, I'm 47 years old. I'm an old man.
As am I. As am I.
Yeah, but the difference between you and me is I don't call myself young.
Wait a minute. Let's set the record straight. We were called Young Guns by Fred Barnes, and the name sort of stuck. But let's get it straight here. It's really not about age. It's about ideas, and that's what the book is about, Joe.
Okay, narrow it down. Tell me about the ideas.
We know you want to relive your youth. Just don't take your frustrations out on us, okay, Joe? I mean, come on.
But I got a guy.
Now, Joe,
You're young.
not to be nice.
You're young.
All right,
Look
put
at
the video up
Cantor.
again.
Look
Put
at
the video
Cantor.
up.
Okay,
I wanna
every
see it.
time you poke
Okay.
at us, we're going to show the video. It's
Where's
that
the video?
simple.
I wanna
It's
see
very
the teeth
easy.
glistening.
Okay, they don't have it.
Here we
Here
go.
we go. Here we go. See, that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that's sort of
Oh, my God.
the glow of God right across. Actually, they came right across your teeth. So, Kevin, you called me before. You called me several months ago and said we're working on some ideas that are going to change America. We're not just going to be the party of no. Tell Americans those ideas.
Well, those ideas are actually coming out in 2 weeks. And what they're going to be about things we can change right now. Take away the uncertainty where people can create jobs in this country. Stop the spending. It is crazy here. And, discretionary spending's gone up 84%. If you just cut that, you could save $1 trillion. There's a new way about doing things. That's what Young Guns is all about. It's candidates across this country that are willing to run for office, not to promise you a new bridge in their district, but to actually change this country.
Now, you guys all agree with me, because I've heard you say, and it's one of the things that excites me about your group. You will be the first to say the Republican Party had a chance, and we screwed up. We got fired, and we deserve to be fired,
You
right?
wrote about this in your book, which is we lost our way when we were in the majority. We rightfully got fired because we spent too much money. We need to own up for that, and we need to recommit ourselves to our conservative principles. We are trying to get men and women around the country to come to Congress to help us not have a career in politics, but to come advance the cause of relimiting government, having a free enterprise system, and we got to make sure that we don't make the mistakes we made in the past if we are given the privilege to serve in the majority.
And, in that book, it was back in 2004, I remember writing about something that you guys were doing. I don't think you were here yet, but in 2004, you were trying to push budget reform on Republicans.
Yes.
And you were shocked that the Republican leadership was fighting you as much as the Democratic leadership. How's it going to be? Because that's what I hear from conservatives. How can we be assured that we're going to give you guys another chance and you're not going to act just like big spending Washington elites?
Well, look, Joe, we've got an incredible opportunity right now, and America needs to change because we understand that we blew it. We blew it when we were in the majority, but we're seeing now the tremendous errors of the ways of this administration and the majority in Congress. There has not been a more liberal governing agenda in this country in decades. And as we saw this week in Delaware and the other primaries across the country, people are tired of the spending. They're tired of politicians coming to Washington, making promises and not keeping them. And they want to see some honest, transparent representation here. And that's what the Young Guns is really about.
And you guys understand also, Americans aren't talking about Islamic centers at ground zero. Americans aren't talking about partial birth abortions. They're talking about the economy. They're talking about jobs and Washington getting too big, right?
Exactly. It's jobs and spending. And when you look at what people think about stimulus, I mean, They spent $1 trillion in this Keynesian view, and more people today believe that Elvis is alive than that created jobs. And there's a different way. I mean, we believe in the private sector. Why don't you go after small business? Help them. That's where 70% of all jobs are created. You know that when you served. How do those trailers get bought? They get bought by people working day to day with their hands, and we got to get them working again.
You bring up Keynesian economics. Paul, it's so amazing. In 1994, you were a young staffer for Brownback. We worked together, and we were talking about Keynesian economics, and this is a battle. Even Europe, France, Great Britain, Germany, they don't believe anymore. They're just blindly throwing money at the economy is going to grow jobs.
Look at the Germans. The Germans are growing faster than everybody else because they rejected this stuff. So what's funny is the Europeans that had made these mistakes in the past are now trying to not repeat those mistakes, and we're the ones who are repeating their mistakes. So look, if borrowing all this money and spending it from Washington was the secret to creating jobs, we'd be at full employment right now. We're going gangbusters on borrowing and spending. It's not working. So we got to stop this madness and get back to the basics. We know what creates private sector jobs. We know small businesses are the key to it. Let's get on with fixing these problems.
Eric Kenner, John Boehner introduced you last night as a possible future Speaker of the House. You know, Paul will tell you, when I was in charge, we went after the Speaker for sport. And it was a lot of fun sometimes having coups. How long are you going to allow John Boehner to be Speaker before you make your move?
Oh, come on, Joe. We're not playing Palace Intrigue here. Listen.
No, Palace Intrigue I found in the 90s was a lot of fun.
Well, we read about that. But no, listen, you know, it really is right now an opportunity for Republicans to come together. Now,
okay, let me ask really a serious question about John, though. I know John. I like John an awful lot. I've heard Republicans say he doesn't have the work ethic that Newt had. He's not driven by ideas like Newt. Will John Boehner be just a status politician who wants to stay in that Speaker's office for 2 years? Or is he the type of guy that's going to go in there and turn the tables over in the temple?
You know, Joe, I think John Boehner is a guy who came to Washington for the right reasons. He's a small business person. And as Kevin was just saying, as we all know, we need small business mentality right now to come to play here in Washington. You know, the challenge, I think, for all of us, if we want to make the real difference in this country, is we're going to have to reject the entitlement mentality. You know, we're almost a victim of our own success in this country, where more and more people now are basically taking more from the government than they're paying in.
And is John Boehner willing to fight that fight?
Yes.
Yes, he is. And he has worked with us in trying to go out across this country and recruit candidates who, again, as we've all said, don't want to come to Washington necessarily to go bring back some pork to their districts. They want to come to Washington to try and create, once again, the opportunity this country has offered so many for decades and generations.
Kevin, really
That shut down the bank. Remember, that was John Boehner that came in with a gang of 7 that shut the bank down. So I think.
See, that was back when Congress, when you could overdraw. And unfortunately, I came late to that party. Cash in drawers, free stamps.
Now they're just overdrawing the taxpayers. I mean, come on, you know. So listen.
Well, guys, a couple weeks from now, you're going to have your ideas out. I hope you'll come back on.
You gonna walk the walk?
And I promise you, Paul, I won't make you feel uncomfortable anymore.
All right, thanks, JoJo.
All right, hey.